So finally we have reached the end of this topic. So at the end I would like to define loops or iterators in Java. The loops are basically the control statements in Java that are used to iterate a part of the program several number of times. So let us now check out the syntax and the basic example. So for the for loop, this is basically the syntax. We have the first argument as counter, then condition, and then increment and decrementing the counter variable. And then we have to write our code here. So this is the basic example of the for loop in Java. And then we have the while loop syntax and then the while loop basic example that prints out hello in the output. And then we have the do while loop syntax, and then here we have some basic example of do while loop. So this slide will actually act as your reference in future. So whenever you want to recall what are loops in Java, simply revisit this slide. So at the end, one question must be popping up in your mind. Which loop is actually better and what we should actually use in our program? So let us check out the first case. If the number of iteration is actually fixed, so in that case simply use the for loop. And notice in case of for loop, we first check the condition and then execute the code. And then if the number of iteration is not fixed, then simply use while loop. Now in case of while loop, again we first check the condition and then execute the code. And now at the end, if the number of iteration is not fixed and you need to execute the code at least once irrespective of condition, then simply go for do while loop. And now in case of do while loop, we first check the code and then go for checking the condition. So always remember, in case of do while loop, the flow starts from here, from code till condition. So in this topic, we learnt about the for loop, while loop, do while loop in Java. And also we checked out the differences between these loops. And now, in what scenario do we actually use loops? I showed you a very basic example in this topic. So let me tell you one thing. Throughout our course, the concept of loops will be used many a times. So please don't worry about this question. I will show you where we can use loops practically in our Java programs by citing many more examples in future. So this was all about loops in Java. Now coming up next, we are going to check out what is an array in Java.